My name is Lon LeMaster, and this is my 1963 Corvette Roadster. Growing up in America in the Midwest, as a small kid, this was the car. You saw this car on the street and it always turned heads, as it does today. This is the first year of independent suspension on all four wheels, larger V8 motor, and many more options than were available in the cars before. I brought the car in from the US about 8 years ago, and she was actually a survivor. She sat in a garage in Sioux City, Iowa for some 25 years. In fact, if you notice, I've kept the Sioux City, Iowa parking sticker on here. So she doesn't have a lot of miles on her, but she did need a restoration. And over the last 5-year period, I've embarked on quite a rigorous restoration of this car. The body has been off the frame, the suspension has been completely restored, body put back on, it's been repainted its original Sebring silver color, which was an option for this year. And there's only 2,500 Corvettes in 1963 that were painted Sebring silver, so this is quite a unique car. It also has red interior, and the contrast between the silver and the red I've always found to be just one of the prettiest color combinations that you could find in a Corvette. Now from 1953 to 1962, the cars were very similar. And in 1963, the C2, the Circuit 2 car came out, and that was this body style. Ran from 63 to 67, but this is the first of this body style and has always been my favorite. I've always thought it was just a beautiful car, but you know, talking about it is one thing, but let's just take it for a drive. What do you say? My restoration was about having a weekend driver. I chose the Corvette because of its looks, its lines, but also its performance. 300 horsepower motor back in '63 was a big motor for its time. Or as I mentioned before, is independent suspension, so the drive and the feel is quite unique for a car of this age. A lot of this is about what you grew up with as a kid. For me, it was the Corvette, but for many others, it's Mustangs, it's Holdens. It doesn't really matter, whatever your passion is. Make sure that you find others that share in the same passion that you have. And that's what I did when I started on this journey. I met a fellow by the name of Murray Foreman that's now become a good friend of mine. And in fact, we're off to see him now. Murray's president of the NCRS chapter of here in Australia, and we look at the cars that are sitting here today, many of them restored back to their original, and some are modified a bit. But the NCRS chapter is a bit about restoring a car to original. Murray's the president. Maybe we should let him tell us a little bit about NCRS.
Well, as you know, Lon, in 2005 we started NCRS in Australia. Wendy and I went to the States and we got permission from the board to come out here. The NCRS in America is a non-profit organisation. There's 15,000 odd members, but we judge our cars back to the day of authenticity on the day they were built. That's the main objective, is to make sure that all the cars are as of the day of completion.
There's a few cars sitting here today. Maybe you could just talk to us about some of the things that the judges look at in the cars for their originality, you know, some specific things.
The main thing that we look after is the numbers.
This is the matching number thing that we all hear about so much. Yeah,
your engine, your gearbox, your differential, they're the first lot of main keys. From that we go to the originality of the car with the trim tag, check that we've got the right colour, we've got the right trim internally, and then from there we go down to, you know, the alternators and other bits and pieces.
Or look and condition of the car, that it looks as if it came off of the showroom floor.
As of its birthday.
Yeah. Now, Mary, my car is this 1963 Corvette Roadster, obvious Roadster, no top. But one of the things that's really unique about the '63 and you can always tell, is
the non-functional grill plates. Yeah.
You also have a 63.
Correct. Yes.
But your car is hardtop.
It's a coupe.
It's a coupe.
Yeah.
But there's something very special about that 1963 hardtop, and I think that we'd like to tell the listeners a little bit about that.
Yeah, certainly. What the problem was in 1963, the corporate salespeople wanted to have a split window. Corporate engineering didn't want to have the split window because it interfered with the rear vision. But sales got their way, and the car came out in 1963 with the iconic split window. It only ran for 1 year. This particular item really makes the 63 stand out.
It's really hard to beat, isn't it, Murray? It's one of the things about these older Corvettes that everybody seems to remember.
Exactly.
Now we do have an example of a 64 here. Would you like to show us that one?
Yeah, by all means. Well, as you can see, Lon, this is a full windscreen, rear windscreen, and it started in 1964. And then it ran in this configuration right through to 1967.
Now, I mean, Murray, this is your wife's car, Wendy. This is a beautiful, beautiful car, but you have to admit, you know, that split window is iconic, and it is a bit missed on this car.
Oh, definitely.
Even though she is a beauty.
Yeah, no, it's. They did a lot of changes in '64. A lot of little minor changes, grille-wise, vents versus just 2 indentations, exhaust fan inside through the side vents in '64, not in '63, and a lot of other changes. But basically, the cars look the same, but without that split window, it loses a lot of its appeal.
Pizzazz. Yes, it does. Well, listen, Murray, I really want to thank you today for taking the time and sharing your house with us and talking a little bit about NCRS, and appreciate very much you being here. Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks, mate. All the best.
I'd like to thank everyone today for joining me and sharing in my passion in my owning and restoration of this 63 Corvette. Now, you know, there's only one thing that's greater than owning a 63 Corvette Sting Ray in Sebring Silver, and that's to have one of the matching handmade John Sear guitar.